Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Hello, my beautiful soul tribe, soul family, my fellow warriors of love. Today we've got a very special call. I was on YouTube listening to a podcast, saw the title. This guy was saying, did you know that there are actually 272 emotions? So that's this guy's whole message is let's not just say there's a handful of emotions. There's 272 of them. I immediately went, asked ChatGPT to take that podcast, summarize it, get those 272 emotions so that we can actually do an infinity healing for each one of those. Why is this helpful? If you feel you get triggers coming up, and with the triggers, all these emotions that come up. So I just recently had some triggerings happen in a connection, and all these emotions came up. They're just like so many in one moment. So what's beautiful is by clearing these emotions, the next time we get triggered, it's either gonna be lighter or there might not even be intense things coming up. It might be like a neutral thing. So many benefits to clearing emotions. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for several months. So yeah, let's get into it. I invite you to lay down or sit comfortably. And starting now, we're activating the infinity healing. Would you like to receive it? If so, simply say yes. So for every infinity healing, I may say, instead of would you like an infinity healing, because there's 272 of them, I would say, would you like to clear and mention the emotion? It's not just a casual question. Every time you say yes, you're activating the infinity healing, which lets source, God, universe do infinite things for you, clearing all the limiting beliefs, all the fears, all the emotions, all the root traumas connected to what we're talking about, and immediately replaces it with what is best. So for you, release guilt, and we don't use the word release, permanently let go. We don't want to sign a new lease on something we think we're letting go, but we're actually signing a new lease. So we're keeping it in the hamster wheels cycle. Um, it's gonna so let's say we let go permanently let go of guilt and shame. We replace it with self-acceptance and confidence or something like that. We'll leave it up to source God. And all you need to do is say yes. You could say the yeses out loud, you could say them quietly in your head, whatever works best for you. But your yes is the consent. It's the consent saying, I approve of this alchemization. And I don't use the word healing. I like the word alchemization because you're taking something negative, turning it into something good, just like nature does when we give it our leftover fruits and vegetables. And, we give it that organic waste and it turns it into nutrient dense soil. So there's 272 we're going to go through today. And we're going to default the positive. So setting the defaults to the positive emotions and alchemizing the negative, the heavier, denser emotions. This is not about not feeling emotions, is not pushing the new age that says avoid the negative emotions and only be in bliss. All the emotions are like little inner children that want to be heard, that want to be felt, that want to be they want you to be present with them. So all emotions are beautiful. They're asking for something. It's a cry for love. It's all love or a calling for love. Like every emotion is love or a calling for love, right? So anger, the other day I was sharing anger, and it was just a calling for love. It was just a weird way for me to say, hey, I'm needing love and support in this moment. So let's get into it, guys. Starting now, would you like an infinity healing to clear everything and anything in the way of you receiving the maximum today? Would you like an infinity healing to clearing everything in the way of you letting go of the max? Would you like an infinity healing to set aside anything within you or outside of you that may be resisting, sabotaging, interfering with, getting in the way of, or even afraid of all the good things we can do today? And would you like an infinity healing to set these parts aside now, throughout the session, and even after the session? And to show these parts what's going on from the highest perspective? Would you like that? And starting now, would you like an infinity healing to have your higher self choose what, or God, source, whatever word you use, to have that part of you choose the perfect energies and choose the perfect beings, if any, that are for your highest good for today's session? and to give them permission to do everything they know to do that is for your highest good starting now. Would you like that? And would you like an infinity healing for Source God to choose what to actually integrate into our session today? If there's space for even more integration, something specific for what you could use right now, allowing Source God to create that. And you give it permission to automatically do an infinity healing for each area on that list starting now. So this whole process is called the infinity healing. If anyone's on this call and they would like to learn how to do this amazing, powerful, voted #1 result-based modality by many summits that have worked with all the healers, just reach out through tarkbeam.com. Let us know. We'd love to certify you in this process. So starting now, would you like an infinity healing to have joy as your default setting? To have happiness as your default setting? To have bliss as your default setting? To have delight as your default? Contentment, peace, serenity, calmness, gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion, kindness, affection, warmth, tenderness, hope, optimism, faith, trust, confidence. So just say yes to each one. Empowerment, courage, healthy pride, satisfaction, fulfillment, excitement, enthusiasm, inspiration, motivation, passion, eagerness, curiosity, wonder, awe, amazement, fascination, relief, acceptance, belonging, connection, unity, freedom, security, safety, stability, harmony, balance, playfulness, cheerfulness, amusement, elation, ecstasy, triumph, accomplishment, success, enthrallment, admiration, respect, reverence, devotion, generosity, altruism, patience, tolerance, forgiveness, humility, openness, anger. Sorry, openness, pause, cancel, cancel the anger. So for everything that I've shared, there's a healthy aspect and an unhealthy. So for example, humility, there's healthy humility, and then I would say there's the shadow of humility. So for every sign that we said to default, it's in the healthiest version of it, of that quality. So would you like that? And to also integrate, so I'll use, we were talking about this earlier on the call before we hit the record, is like when you know who you are and know what you bring to the table, there's a healthy acknowledgement, confidence, knowing. And then the unhealthy version is just being like, oh, really? Yeah, you think this is good healing? Like, it's like claim your brilliance. There's nothing, um, there's no harm in claiming what you bring to the table, right? But then let's say the other side of that. So it's like, yes, I know what I bring to the table. I know the value I bring to my business, to my clients, to my relationships. And the shadow would be the other version of that is like, hey, no, I know everything, right? So it's the over, it's like, I know everything. So you're not an empty cup. So there's a sweet spot way, and we're letting the infinity healing alchemize and balance and harmonize that, where you're like, I'm an empty cup, I know nothing, yet I'm infinite intelligence, right? So when you hear paradoxes, those are really the magic of our being. It's in those weird paradoxes, both physical, non-physical, mind, and spiritual. All right. Before that turns into a TED talk, let's continue with the emotions. So would you like, again, the next one is anger. It's like you can use anger to create a movement, create solutions, create, like, everything has its positive and negative. So it's not about only being in in what we're terming like the positive emotions, because even the so-called negative emotions, the heavier, denser emotions, can be used to propel us forward. So that's what we're doing with the infinity healing. But it's also, if anger just keeps coming up every single time someone pushes your button, you lash out, there's anger. That's not sustainable. We need to go deeper and alchemize these emotions, which is very interesting that anger ends up on the number 69, which is kind of like the yin yang symbol, which is a perfect metaphor for what I'm talking about. There's light in the dark, dark in the light. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, it's right there. There's light in the darkness, and there's dark in the light side of the wholeness of life. Okay. And yeah, so that being said, you can also research, you can research Dr. Hawking's book on consciousness, or you can just look up the consciousness chart of Dr. Hawking's. And the book is Power versus Force. That's a really cool image to see. He measured the frequency of each emotion. It's just really cool. Maybe I'll share it later. So would you like an infinity healing to alchemize anger, rage, fury, irritation, annoyance, frustration, resentment, bitterness, hostility, aggression, outrage, indignation, hatred, contempt, disgust, revulsion, envy, jealousy, vengefulness, spite, defensiveness, impatience. Take a deep breath in and let go. Exasperation, agitation, tension, conflict, opposition, rebellion, defiance, provocation, irritability, offense, fear, anxiety, worry, nervousness, uneasiness, apprehension, dread, terror, panic, alarm, distress, insecurity, vulnerability. See, again, that's a perfect example of healthy vulnerability, unhealthy vulnerability. Helplessness, powerlessness, doubt, uncertainty, hesitation, being timid, shyness, self-consciousness, paranoia, suspicion, again, healthy, unhealthy. Just a side tangent for a second. There's a level of paranoia that they call paranoia, but is actually you're seeing everything for what it is, and it's not the nicest thing. If you watch the movie Matrix, It's the scene where he sees the Matrix for what it is. So back to the infinity healings, clearing unhealthy suspicion, mistrust, feeling threatened, intimidation, overwhelm, shock, being startled, horror, foreboding, restlessness, hypervigilance, instability, exposure, fragility, sadness, sorrow, grief, mourning, heartbreak, despair, hopelessness, misery, melancholy. Deep breath in. Let it go. Gloom, loneliness, isolation, abandonment, rejection, disappointment, regret, remorse, guilt, shame, embarrassment, humiliation, worthlessness, emptiness, numbness, discouragement, defeat, desolation, alienation, neglect, loss, bereavement, bereavement. I'm being transparent. I actually don't know that word, but Bereavement. Brokenness, stress. Would you like an infinity healing to alchemize pressure, burnout, fatigue, exhaustion? Take a deep breath in. Let it all go. Would you like an infinity healing to alchemize feeling drained, burdened, strained, confusion, uncertainty, doubtfulness, disorganization, scatterbrained, fogginess, distraction, disconnection, disassociation, avoidance, resistance, withdrawal, stagnation, procrastination, indecision, ambivalence, conflict, chaos, turmoil, tension, rigidity, constriction, suppression, intimacy. So clearing what's in the way of deep intimacy, what's in the way of closeness, what's in the way of attraction, what's in the way of desire. Alchemizing the unhealthy parts of longing, yearning, adoration, infatuation, alchemizing what's best to let go of when it comes to romance, devotion, loyalty. So having these healthier ones as defaults, the trustworthiness, yes, friendship, camaraderie, fellowship, support, validation. The word's understanding, but I use the word understanding, acceptance, nurturing, caring, empathy, sympathy, compassion, appreciation, feeling cherished, included, determination, resolve, persistence, discipline, focus, clarity, alignment, purpose, vision, groundedness, presence, mindfulness, awareness, self-respect. Deep breath in. Let it go. Self-worth, self-love, authenticity, integrity, resilience, adaptability, resourcefulness, creativity, innovation, flow, vitality, confidence, empowerment, liberation, expansion, abundance, prosperity. Would you like an infinity healing to default? Gratification, achievement, a feeling of mastery, not just the feeling, but the embodiment of mastery, capability, competence, healthy interdependence or independence, sovereignty, wholeness, inner peace, enlightenment, transcendence, connection to purpose, and finally, to default, divine love. Take a deep breath in. Let it all go. Please source deep in all the healings we've received. Do everything you know to do that is best. Set the healings on autopilot with ease and grace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. So if you guys enjoyed this, would love to have you join our inner circle where every single month we do something like this or similar. And we also open it up for one-on-one hot seats. And we give you access to tons of my healing programs that would cost thousands of dollars. So we'll put the link in the description. We'd love to have you join us. And we'll continue building every single month with a distance healing, a live call where we get to do group activations, hot seats, and also know that there's the free version where I do hot seats for people who are on the spiritual path, who desire to take their practices to the next level with coaching and abundance mentorship. We'll put that link below as well. Love you guys. Keep shining, keep thriving. Go to tarikbeebe.com and book in a free breakthrough there so I can hop on a call with you and support you in what you're growing through. That's what I said. Much love.